All right. Oh, that's good. Hey, Box of Paint. Hi. How are you? I'm jumping on some chocolate. Hold on. All right. It's been a pretty decent weekend so far. What about you? We're doing good. Chilly enough for hot cocoa. Oh yeah. Do you still use the velvetizer? That's some next level hot chocolate for sure. Problème de chat. Come on, Squid. Come on, Squid. Pas contente. Miaou. Otto! Hi. Hello, Otto. This is all thanks to you. All these sewing streams. Hubby threw away the base. Well, okay. More details, please. What happened? How come he threw away the base of the velvetizer? Yeah, I'm doing the triangles. Hold on, I want to show you something that I put together that I think is quite useful. So it's meant to be a pillowcase, right? And I drew the design I want it to be. So I made a two-size sort of layout paper thingy. It's just like cartridge paper and packing tape. But that way I can use masking tape and stick all my squares to see what the pattern will look like. And since they're on masking tape, I can easily peel them off and move them around if I decide that I want to switch out some of them. Or like if I realize that I have exactly the same fabric next to one another. And I feel like this grid would be reusable for other patterns. Like I know these are more common patterns, but still, if I ever want to do one of these, well, I can reuse this spread. So that was what I was thinking about last night before going to bed. It's always when going to bed that like the ideas come. So yeah, that's my sort of makeshift lining thingamajig. He also accidentally created a monster this week. He bought an automatic kibble dispenser and Amy beats the living out of it all day long. Oh no! I really don't mind taking full responsibility in making you do this. Hey, Lena! Oh my god, that's looking so good and such a good idea. I think it's gonna be really useful, right? Also, like I'm so in love with all the scraps you sent me. Like everything is so pretty, and also this the Liberty Tanalan fabric is so delicate and fine. I'm like, damn. So I have no idea what the final product will look like. I don't even know how to proceed once the top is finished. If I want to make a cushion cover, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out. He was cleaning stuff up and couldn't figure out what it went to, so he just chucked it. That and my left-handed can opener 10 years ago. Thank you. No! But, aw, I don't know. my brain struggles with the idea of just tossing away stuff without, like, if I do that kind of cleanup and I have a bunch of stuff that I feel like we could get rid of, I always like ask Mr. E what he thinks about it. Like, does he agree, or ask him what is this for? So, like, to think of the prospect of someone just binning stuff without asking kind of gives me anxiety. It's so nice to see all my scraps being used. Oh, all of the pale ones are from the quilt I'm working on right now. So sister. Oh, that's interesting. I love them. I love them so much. And also, I'm really oh man, all these with the sparkly fabric, they're so cool. Like, I have the 2 snowflakes one and the stars. There are 2 with stars, and this one with the little dots. And also this one with the diamond shape thingamajig. Like, oh, I love them a lot. They're so shiny. But not in your face shiny. Just, you feel like if you have whatever piece you're working on with these fabric in the light just the right way, it's gonna add so much to them. One person's scraps are another's gold mine. Let's be real, fabric scraps can be beautiful. Oh yeah, I mean, definitely plan to use the scraps to the last thread if I can. Like, I'm definitely gonna make some type of, oh yeah, I wanted to maybe make sketchbook covers with the teeny tiny bits that are technically unusable, but I feel like with some PVA glue or polymer, I could like cover up a paper sketchbook and have that kind of fabric cover to help protect and also look cool, and reuse all those precious little bits of fabric. Yeah, I figured that they're not Liberty, but they're still really, really cool. No, it was supposed to be a summer quilt, but I've been procrastinating on it. There's a lot of really summery, floral, vibrant fabrics, so this does not surprise me from Otto. Though I haven't been through a lot of other people's fabric scraps, and sometimes they're like pieces that feel completely usable that are in there, and I'm always like wondering if it's a mistake or not. Basically, almost everything I'm putting together has been sent to me from Otto. By Otto? Yeah. So this really awesome needle is from her, the thread too, and the fabric scraps. I don't throw away anything. Even the little pieces of thread I keep in a bin. Not a trash bin, just a little tin. Just in case sometimes I need like short bits of thread to tie things together or something. Feels stupid to toss it. I was just in search for pale fabrics to contrast with my colorful pieces. Okay, so for context, I literally just emptied out my scraps tin and sent her the content. We still enjoy. Oh yeah, definitely. I haven't gone back to any other needle, just this one. I made some good progress on the one with the hexagons. It's just that I was a bit stumped about what size I want to make it and what size the backing fabric will be, so I put that on hold and decided to work on this one in the meantime. It's good. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Come on. Meow. Very chou. Sorry. I imagine it. Grosse face de Scooty. I imagine it being beautiful. I like colorful mixed with light areas. This week I was planning with the themes in my note taking app and found one that does just that. Ooh. Hey Erica! How are you? How's the recovery? Scout is being a little bit of a butt. Jinx says hi. Scout. Scout, Jinx te fait dire bonjour. Oh, she's settling down. Popo. Grosse bibite. Jinx is currently snuggled up to James. She has truly jump shipped. Oh no! Traitor. Oh, absolutely. Cats shift loyalty frequently. I think over here, Pico is only loyal to herself. And Scout really likes her dad. She enjoys Mr. E a lot. A betrayal. Amy bugs hubby all day, and the second he comes downstairs, sits in my... I trained James how to handle and interact with Jinx. You trained him a bit too well. I like when she sits down between the two of you. That's super cute. She always looks so cozy. I was having a lie-in the other day. I woke up and saw my office chair had been moved to next to his office chair, and they were sitting next to each other. Aww. That's so cute. She's with you until the end of the month? He was like, oh, it's the only way she will settle. Well, I mean, she settled in your chair. Yeah, till next weekend. It will be 4 weeks in total. That's really cool. I hope she won't be too bummed out about going home. But yeah, they were co-working. Yeah, she was supervising. Yeah, I kind of feel bad sending her home. It's not an easy situation, for sure. She totally supervises us when we are working out. She is now Coach James. When she was younger, Pico once was acting coach Pecco. Or Pico, I think you say in English. Anyway, I think I was doing like jumping jacks. And she was really confused by what was going on. And she was just like on her hind legs doing like weird moves with her front paws, and it was really funny. And she made her first cookie dough ever today. Aww. She's not very good with people. Yeah, that's really, and she did it on someone, not on like some random blanket out there. She has started to purr when we stroke her now. Aww. What kind of purr does she have? A chirpy purr. Aww. Are you finding the thread? The thread is really nice. Like, you know, it's a good thread when you forget about it while sewing, you know. It doesn't make knots, it doesn't fray, it doesn't do anything that you don't want a thread to be. So basically you just forget about it. And you can just focus on sewing. Everyone's getting levels. Yeah, I've only had one tangle so far in the whole quilt sewing. Whoa. I like when the thread, what would you call that? Is it like a bobbin? But yeah, when they're made of wood, it's always like extra impressive. It would be great if there was a way to refill them, like you send your empty bobbins or whatnot, and you pay for a refill of thread. It's amazing how much the sewing experience changes when you have the tools that work for you. Oh yeah, just really good tools like sharp needles, sturdy thread, nice fabric. It's a bit like that with knitting and crochet too. Like if you have a thread or a yarn that is really difficult to work with, it just makes the whole thing unpleasant. Yeah, I might have bought that to begin with because it had wooden bobbins. Last time you went to Japan, Otto, you were really big into knitting, right? So do you feel like for your next visit you will really go check out the fabric places and get some stuff more for sewing, or not even that, or hey, hi Salome, hi. Thankfully they are the same shops. I will do both yarn and fabric. Oh, that's great. You'll have to share your loot with me, like send photos or something. I think I mentioned a couple of weeks back cleaning out my OG Cutman set, and I've been really surprised at how much nicer they are to use with good paper and brushes. How old is your OG Cutman set? I'm really looking forward to the photos, Otto, of everything. The food, the places, the loot. We bought a lot of paint today, house paint. Ooh, what color? Did you solve the situation with the yellow cupboards? 2004 or 5. Oh, okay, 20 years ago. That's possibly like was back when they were made still in France, I think. Is that possible? I recently swatched my Cutman set and it was nicer than I remembered. The thing is, Cutman is really uneven, I feel like. They have some colors that are serviceable, but they have some colors that are just absolutely disgusting to use. Like their sap green. I don't know why, but I have this memory of their sap green being gummy and like you can't really get a really deep green with it. It just looks like splotchy or something. Hello, the kitchen is still yellow. We just have 2 newer cabinets which are cream but not as yellow. Okay. But like their Cutman's phthalo blue and their mauve color I think are relatively decent. The yellows are relatively okay too. I think it's mostly the earth colors and that stupid sap green that I just... I mean, I have a vintage tube of Viridian from Cutman and it's made with PG-18, so I think. So they used to be like a really decent student range. But since then, ugh. I have pens and it was digging it out with the brush situation. I have to give it credit for illustrating a children's book. Oh, you did that with the Cutman set. I think the set can easily be used, but like for whatever you want, but it's just not the kind of colors that I like to use in terms of performance. Like some colors are really weak and you can't get them to become dark and deep. Like if you layer them, they just become weird, not good looking. But yeah, you can definitely still work with those paints and do stuff with them. There's a lot of professional painters that do stuff with Cutman colors. And I mean, sure, if it fits the kind of painting you do. They do have one of the best plastic travel palette, like the palette itself. The Pocket Sketcher is really, really cool. It's really sturdy, it has a decent amount of mixing area, and you can carry 12 colors in there. The only perhaps issue with it is that you kind of need to use the smaller Winsor Newton pans. How is everyone feeling today? I'm feeling good. Had a pretty stellar breakfast and lunch, so... And I'm sewing, which I enjoy at the moment, so all good. Your stitches are so tiny. I kind of have to make them tiny though. This fabric, like the Tana Lawn fabric, is so fine. And there is so, like, since this is English paper piecing, since I basically fold over the fabric and sew like two pieces together, there's so few threads available on the like fold to attach the pieces together. I kind of have to make the stitches tiny. I got the fish started today. I've managed to pencil 13 of the Ink2Bear stuff. Whoa, that's cool. Did some painting, so feeling pretty dang good today. That's a really good day. Oh, the paints we got. I'm being bold and painting the bedroom forest green and the studio jewel blue. Oh, wow. Hey, Charlotte. Hi. Water break. You're a plant. Box of paint is definitely a plant. My friend got some natural history museum wallpaper from a home store, and they had a lovely one with plants and small orange moths. Ooh, that sounds really pretty. We went out to lunch, then went to a craft market, bought some art, then training session with my Kiro. I am exhausted as he tested us on how long we can hold all the planks. Ugh. All of them? Ew. Did you manage to try some of the food at the craft fair? Because wow, the photos looked amazing. The studio will be more gothic to get some sculpts. Ooh. So it's gonna be, wait, hold on. Is that the room that's jewel blue? Yeah, okay. That's basically a really vibrant blue, right? I hate trying to hold a plank position because you start shaking and sweating, and it feels so disproportionate to the exercise that is taking place. It's a bit like climbing steps. In a sense that I remember when I went to the gym ages ago, I would do a whole lot of cardio stuff. And the one that would always kick my ass the most was the stair climber. Like it was disproportionate just how strenuous that was to do, just climbing steps, endless steps, and I was like dripping sweat. Like even if I had just done like 45 minutes of very intense cardio stuff, the stair climber thingy would always kick my ass. Like yeah, I'd be a bit sweaty, but then I would go on that machine and I'd end up like leaking water. I bought an original pastel drawing of two red squirrels. Ooh, a stained glass. Think, what's that? Of two cardinals with berries to hang on your. Oh, that sounds really lovely. A couple of Christmas decoration. That sounds really cute. My studio is also our guest room, and everyone is warned in advance that it may be a little creepy, and there will be glowing eyes and things when the lights go. I need to get crafting on candles for Christmas. I really miss making them. Do you make them for yourself or do you make them for gifts? for both. Oh, interesting. We had 2 Christmases where family were all, let's do homemade, and I'm the only one that did. So fool me twice. What do you mean you're the only one that did? Like, what did the other people bring? My friend ordered a huge box of wax melts for me a couple of years ago. Ooh, that sounds really cool. If I agree to homemade, then not do it. Yeah, same. I love being able to do handmade things, screw capitalism. Well, yeah, but at the same time, you kind of have to buy the prime materials that you need to make things. So it's always a tough balance. There's a Libri fabric that's named Eve, and it's really pretty too, so I was like, oh yeah, when I saw it. And the no chocolate rule, which again, everyone gets chocolate, and I'm the only one that didn't buy any. Oh no! The usual bath sets and lotions, but store-bought. Was it at least store-bought from like an artisanal maker, or was it like the body shop store-bought? It would drive me bonkers. Has the same energy of making a thing a potluck, and everybody brings food and no one eats what you brought because, I don't know, there's always way too much food out there. I hate potlucks. I hate potlucks. Your fam needs to understand what rules. Buying supplies doesn't count. A lot of suppliers are at least small businesses. Yeah, I hope so. I'm not that familiar with it. Like, yeah, hold on, let me think on it. Paint is a bit less obvious, but for stuff like fabric, yeah, it's often little sellers, so that's great. My favorite fight with my in-laws was everyone was on a diet and I bought full fat milk for coffee, tea, and got ripped a new one for them to pour double cream on their Snow Queen at dessert. Oh, I would not. Oh, that would drive me bonkers. How when you have to buy things with your name. I bought a geranium called Salome last week. Ooh, what color is it? I think it starts out with good intentions and then the year flies by and it's crunch time. When you bring cake to a family thing, nobody goes for it. Somebody yells at the end, says, oh my god, that's really good, but everyone left already, it's fine. Well, I mean, yeah, just no. No. If I have to take part in a potluck, only 2 things are options in my book. Either I bring the stuff I want to eat, or I buy something that I'm confident will be successful. You know, you bring something like bakery bread, or What else? Like cookies. Or you bring soda or whatever, juice, or you know, stuff that you feel like you don't have to put too much time in it, and you're pretty sure that people are gonna, you know, go to it anyway. The geranium is a violet purple. Ooh, sounds pretty. Snow Queen, double cream with orange booze and meringue nests crunched up and... That sounds miserable. I'm sorry. That sounds... it's gonna be a stupid joke, but that sounds really English. Ugh. Dude, not my kind of dessert for sure. I love this one. Look at this. How fun is this print? I'm gonna make it this one. What did I put? I put these will be a thing. Since this one is getting this one will be getting this one. Just so I make sure I don't have duplicates. I ask for a pâtisserie for my birthday every year. Dude, you have to. It's your birthday. You need to get something. Either like a pâtisserie or a cake or a pie or anything. Just... I don't think it's British. I don't know, but ugh. It sounds miserable. Also, I have a very strong bias. I don't like cream, I don't like booze, and I don't like orange flavored stuff. So that only leaves the meringue. Though, oddly enough, if you can find meringue, I don't know how to say it in English, but you know, the egg white and sugar stuff, it's really delicious with Nutella. At some point at the grocery store, we could buy like meringue cookies, which were basically just big rounds of meringue. And we ate them with Nutella like in a sandwich. And it was amazing. Surprisingly good. The French got it sorted with desserts that are full of sugar yet not too sweet. It's a good balance that the Americans have definitely thrown to the wind. I look up the Snow Queen and it's the most 70s thing. Oh, it sounds like... It absolutely sounds like a recipe from the 70s. The only way it could truly be more 70s is if it was made with like Cool Whip instead of double cream. Better to serve air to Ev. Yeah, definitely. Just give me the meringue before smashing it. I'll be fine. Eaten Mess. That name is amazing. Especially when it says choose your own. Okay, now I'm worried though. I'm absolutely worried. But yeah, meringue and Nutella is, you know, it's worth a try if you feel that's the kind of stuff you would like. Right, time to glue some triangles. My finger is so busted up and cracked and unhappy with me. An Eat and Miss bar. I can't look on my phone because my phone is the camera right now, but I'm really curious about this. That is one we do right. Strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries are always a must, but different people like different ones. I can't imagine if we ever had a meetup. Yeah, it would be food and paint, basically. Not in the same room, just to, you know, even if paint looks edible at times, it's not. bakery at the front, studio at the back. That's absolutely a project that I could get behind. I actually got some brushes made for painting sugar in my Rosemary & Co order. Oh, that's really cool. So another one of my personal, possibly bad takes is, as much as I love fruit, I don't know why, but my brain doesn't really see fruity desserts as real desserts. Dessert. When I need to remember how to say dessert, I think about Lilo and Stitch. But yeah, I don't know why. Like pie crust with crème pâtissière and fruit. To me, that's a weird idea. That's like, what are you trying to do with your dessert? I don't know why. I don't know why my brain goes there. Because it doesn't really make sense. But I always feel like any kind of dessert that has a bunch of fruit, fresh fruit in it is a different category for me. A lemon meringue pie would like a word. Oh, it can have a word with someone else. I'm not touching that. That's all for Mr. E. He can get all the lemon meringue pie he wants. What the fuck? Il y a bien du monde bizarre dehors. There's a lot of odd people going by outside. It's so good. Well, you can have it. Same with the lime, key lime, whatever, and orange, and just nope. Nope. Red velvet, not for me. Black cherry, nope. C'est Chiro. Salut. Ouais. Hello. Chirp, chirp. Have you ever had sticky toffee pudding? I don't know what that is. Most of my knowledge of this dessert names in English is not there. I might know about it in French. I know over here we have it's called pudding chômeur in French. It's basically a kind of cake. You make the dough, like you make the batter for the dough, you put it in a pan, and then you make kind of like a syrup. I don't know why they do that this way, but you kind of make a concoction of maple syrup and water. So I don't know why they decide to dilute the maple syrup for this recipe, but that's how the recipe usually goes. Anyway, you put the batter in the pan and you pour the maple syrup thingy on top and you send it to cook, and as it cooks, the maple syrup mix infuses the cake and settles at the bottom, making the bottom extra like soggy and sweet and delicious. So I don't know if that's like sticky toffee pudding, but that's a thing we have here. My mom used to make something called a dump cake, and it was like a trifle but made with vanilla pudding and pound cake, and you'd have layers of fruit between. That sounds really weird. Oh my god, I make the best Black Forest gâteau. You can have it. I no. What dessert do I like? That might be the best question to ask. So, chocolate cake, spice cake, coffee. Those are my favorite flavors of cake. Basically, I grew up, my mom never made pies because she hated the process of making pie dough. So she would often make cakes. She would make the buttercream by hand, but she would buy boxed mixed for the base of the cake. Really basic flavors. I think she always went for chocolate, vanilla, or spice. And she would have like a first layer of cake, buttercream, second layer of cake, cover everything in buttercream. That was basically it. And then she would also make a Yule log. That was, you know, kind of the same idea. I like pecan pie. I used to love, I don't know what it is. It's sucre à crème and tarte au sucre. I think sucre à crème is basically what you call white fudge or white tablet, similar. And tarte au sucre is a bit like what you would get if you took a pie crust and poured the white tablet in the pie crust. It's probably a bit less firm than white tablet, but it's kind of the same idea. And you can have variants with maple in there too. Sticky toffee pudding was a weird first time cooking experience, but one of my faves over here. I'll have to look it up. Boiled cakes were weird food stuff. We have a kind of boiled confection here that has a really funny name. It's called des grands-pères dans le sirop. So it's basically like saying grandfathers in syrup. Which makes no sense. But I think you kind of drop balls of dough in like heated up maple syrup, probably with water in there, because I don't know why do we even bother? We make maple syrup and then we dilute it with water to make other stuff. That's stupid. But anyway, yeah, the grand-père dans le sirop. I used to love tiramisu. I would totally love it still if I could eat it, but I don't want to be in pain that much. My mom had a great recipe for tiramisu. It was pretty delicious when she would make it without the booze. You don't really need to put the amaretto in there. You can just put almond extract. And it has the kind of same almond taste profile than amaretto does. I love this one. This one looks like watercolor. It's so pretty. Sticky toffee pudding is sort of like a dark spiced cake that then has a super rich... Okay, that sounds amazing. American concept of pudding really confused me as a child. Yeah, it's how to say it? Like, it's kind of odd that you can have pudding either in a bowl or you can also serve it in a pie crust and make a pudding pie. US pudding is a thing unto itself, and I didn't think I would miss it. Oh, particularly butterscotch. I'm with you there, high five. I don't know why. I can't fathom it. But that stupid butterscotch flavor of pudding is so good. It was my favorite as a kid too, and I would not go for like butterscotch and anything else but pudding as a kid. That was chocolate all the way, except for pudding. We've got Angel Delight, but the texture, what's that? Watching Rugrats eating chocolate pudding and wondering why it's sloppy liquid. It's it's really hard to say because the only way I can describe the texture is to say that it's like pudding. So that's kind of self-defeating, but it's kind of thick. It's a bit like what you would get when you buy a decent enough fatty yogurt and mix it up. That's kind of the texture you get from pudding. It's like an almost moussey. Oh man, butterscotch pudding is where it's at. I imagine pudding to be like custard-ish. It's smooth. Custard or is more like, oh wait, no wait, which custard? Not flan, right? Like more like custard you find in pastries. Yeah, I think it would be a similar texture. Japan best custard. Which one, the flan or the actual custard? I have had it getting a box to send you. Oh yeah, butterscotch pudding. I could send you some too. Definitely. And I think you won't be sad from having 2 boxes of butterscotch pudding. I don't know if I can find it. I know I can find it in the kind of weird pudding that's not exactly like old school pudding. Like it's a vegan keto version that has like very few calories, but it also has a bit of an odd aftertaste. So I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it. I'll take anything butterscotch flavored. Noted. Once in a blue moon we can get it at the garden center. And I go crazy, so we'll keep an eye out. Hold on, what? And butterscotch chips for cookies. Oh man. I love butterscotch. I really like caramel flavor. I just don't like salted caramel, so. And I figured that out when I was eating the vegan Haagen-Dazs that's like chocolate, truffle, and caramel or something. And it's it has like these pockets of gooey caramel in there, and it's so good. And I was like, oh yeah, true, I love caramel. I forgot. Seems to be the place to buy American snacks over here, apart from all the ones being sold in big city. What? Caramel can vary so much. Yeah, absolutely. We have caramel spreads here. Do you guys have that, like to put on toast for breakfast or something? It's basically a tub of caramel. The American sweet shops in big cities. Money on doing phones. What? In London, there are tons of American candy stores, and most of them are being sued and or shut down because they were doing dodgy. Oh man, that's so funny. We have Biscuit spread. We have it here too. It's reached us here in Canada as well. It's basically cookie spread, right? We have rum butter in the cupboard. I can't stop myself. One more spoonful. It's so weird to think that it's a spread made from crushing biscuits or cookies, you know. Oh my gosh, Lise! Hey! Hi! Another US candy I missed at Christmas are butter rum lifesavers. I've never had those. I might have to. I had my dinner too quick. Yeah, we're talking about food. That doesn't help, right? Can't tell it's a good thing I ate just before. Yep. We're talking about desserts mostly. Is that how I'm supposed to say it? Dessert? And desert is the thing in with the sand, and desserts are the sweet things that are delicious, right? At least in French, we made kind of a more obvious distinction between those words, like dessert is dessert, and désert is desert. It's gonna break my brain. My dinner was Doritos. Oh, I mean, it's good, but only Doritos? Dude, you gotta get some actual protein in there. Do you have any cheese in the fridge? Or a boiled egg? Or like you did the 2-minute plank today. You need some protein in there. Two scoops of ice cream. We're all the likes on the stream today. My only defense is that I had to do a 2-minute plank and 1 minute on either side. I had no energy to cook. Oh, absolutely. But I mean, yeah, crack open that cheese drawer and get yourself a. Or what else? What's a good source of protein that you don't have to cook? Any kind of deli meat, I guess. Eggs. If you already have pre-boiled eggs. Yogurt, cheese, beans. Hubby is dyslexic and he really hates it when I throw out those how to remember tidbits. Yeah, it's weird because I have to keep in mind the one for English and the one for French and not mix them up. There and there, the one with people. It's all, you're only going to make it worse. did also have a massive lunch today. Okay. Good. We made home cooked chocolates this morning. It's really neat. You buy them frozen. They're like chocolate croissant, and you buy them frozen and you leave them on a baking sheet with parchment paper in the oven overnight with the oven turned off, just to let them like thaw and puff up. And in the morning you remove them from the oven, start the oven. When the oven is ready, you cook them in there, and there you have fresh, hot, delicious pastries. Oh, you've shown me your lunch, that's true. What was it though? It kind of looked like Belgian waffles or something. Sounds amazing. It really is. Honestly, I'm sold. I thought it was more work than that. I think I've seen some of instances of this stuff where you kind of had to, I don't know, like put them with a towel and whatever, but these you absolutely just plop in there, forget about them till the morning. And they were so good. They were really, really good. It was chocolate, and it had frozen raspberries with the chocolate. So when it cooked, it became like raspberry chocolate croissant. Wait, what? It was pancakes. Oh, with fruits and bacon. Side order of scrambled tofu, large greens. That sounds... I mean, pancakes, waffles. It's basically the same dough, but the presentation is different. Pancakes are amazing. Did you have syrup with it? What do you mean, Salome? Hey, Paulo! Just in time, we're talking about food. Of course. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I wish I had pancakes now. I love baking pancakes. Well, you know, in the pan or something, because I like the process of baking them. I like that you can visibly tell when they're ready to be flipped, and that you can drown them in maple syrup. I have 2 maple syrups in my fridge somehow. I don't see an issue with that. I bet none of you have had Welsh cakes. Well, I bet none of you have had maple sucre à la crème. How about that? Sorry. Our last roomie made amazing pancakes. He fermented the batter somehow. But why? What would that bring? Really should. Yeah, I know, the heart button is stupid. When I try to pin comments like for the topic of the stream, it's always a hassle. Because there's this stupid, like I'm trying to click on the 3 dots and I just can't because it's the heart button thingamajig is in the way. Like, I don't know why it's there. Like, what's it supposed to mean? It doesn't bring anything to the experience. It's trying a bit too hard to be like Instagram or something. Yeah, that button. Okay, challenge. Find the stupidest emoji you can spam with the heart button. Like, can you spam like the poop emoji or something stupid, or is it just a preset of a few? This is really funny. Oh, they're only 5s. Oh no. Oh, missed opportunity. Which makes the button only those 5. It's like extra useless. I don't know what it's supposed to bring to the experience. Weed man. Like, what's the point of having only like 5 positive emojis in there that kind of overlap one another? I guess the 100 is for basically saying you agree with something. There's a heart. There's the celebration cone thingamajig. There's a... I can't even see one. Yeah, one is like the white eyes emoji, and is this bringing joy? Oh man, Mary Kondo would be on this. This is a social media engagement Google on my stream. It's making me laugh though, but yeah, you don't have to keep spamming. Some poor people at Google had to make this and have me. Yeah, but they got paid for it, so they're literally the ones laughing all the way to the bank. Like, yo, check this out, we implemented a really stupid thing to YouTube that's probably gonna annoy everyone, but we got paid for it, whoop! I wonder if there are some add-ons or extensions you can have on your browser to just nuke it. Left the window most. A big PowerPoint about that heart button. I always click it by accident. Like it's not only useless, but it's in the worst location. I love that they went, we're not gonna show the dislikes anymore, but we're gonna give you that heart button that doesn't do anything and is in the way, but you know, you can click it. I'm making a English paper piecing cushion cover. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I do feel like one of my blades is a bit loose. I wonder if that's gonna fit in there. Nope, too big. Nope, still too big. Sorry. I was like, yeah, glowing triangles, this makes sense, but it's... So, yeah, I don't know, you're familiar with the English paper piecing. I wasn't until very recently. Also, nothing more than getting just an emoticon as a DM reply to your reel. What am I supposed to do with that? You contaminated me. Well, do you don't really work EPP, right? You do more like what is it? Is that what they call foundation piecing or something? You've done it before. Okay. I feel very lame when I like the emoji. Well, I mean, that's how the platform is made. Yeah, it is. I really like it. It's kind of sent my brain on a... I don't know how to explain it, but you know, like a rampage of possibilities. Like I'm trying to think of a billion ways to design stuff using this technique and to like make projects that I feel are closer to like more personal to me in a way. Because you know, you can buy quilt patterns online and there are all sorts of EPP or quilt blocks that have name, like for example, if you look up the Cherish quilt, it's made from these hexagons, large hexagons of paper pieced pieces, and it's like someone designed this quilt and then people are making it. But I'm like, I like that, but I feel like I would like it even more if I could design my own shapes and design my own thing, and try to bring perhaps a bit more chaos into the whole thing. So yeah, basically my brain is running like 7 ideas all at once. People should make quilts with the new space filling polygons. What's that? Like, I've watched quite a few videos about quilting and all that, and I've seen that you can send a quilt to be quilted via long arm machine, like to specific companies. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, you send them the whole thing, like just, I guess, pinned together maybe, and they put it through the machine to get it quilted. It doesn't particularly appeal to me because I don't know why. I haven't really tested it out, this feeling, but I feel like I would prefer hand quilted quilts, even if it's an insane amount of work. But I like that there's a possibility to just send out the quilt to get it like quilted with this machine that costs basically your 2 arms and your 2 legs and maybe a kidney. I was checking it out of curiosity, but yeah, some long arm machines can cost from like, I've seen prices from like $7,000 to $50,000. I was like, ah, what? Okay. I can understand why people who get the pricier ones offer services of doing it for other people. Like, it's a way for them to pay back their investment and also to offer the service to people who can't afford the machine. But wow, 50k, like, dang, that's a lot of money for a quilting machine. You kind of have to, at least have the patience to hand quilt an entire quilt. Yeah, I know it sounds absolutely overwhelming. I completely agree with that, but yeah, I might just combine the. I guess it just takes a lot more time. But I mean, it's not like very different. I think what would help with quilting a whole quilt is that quilts have sections by default. So if you can sort of partition your brain to be like, okay, this moment I'm quilting this piece of fabric, this pattern on the quilt, and you do it, and then you're like, okay, this is done, and then the next one, and then the next one, and there's variety, but at the same time it's not too repetitive, even if it is a bit, you know, it's a tough balance. I'm thinking I should get a sewing machine, it's so practical, but I haven't touched one since GC. What's that? Avoid brother machines. I think with sewing machines there might be a lot of good deals to be found on stuff like Facebook Marketplace and all that. But I don't know. I learned a new thing about free motion. Oh, Otto, you've quilted with your machine. So do you do like free motion quilting, or do you just do like stuff like lines, like straight lines? Yeah, I'm glad my hand stitching quilt isn't blocked, so I can just focus. Yeah, exactly. That's helpful. Sewing with a machine is a tiny bit like riding a bicycle. It's really difficult to completely forget how to use it. Nope, lines, and you want to use a walking foot on it. I know you personally won't be using the sewing machine, just for info. I was just curious because I was listening to a video of someone talking about their experience free motion quilting, and they were talking about a thing called eyelashing, and I had no idea what that was. So I googled it up and I was like, oh, interesting. So I have to check it out, but I want to remember to look into what is free motion quilting, just so I know what it is. So do people still use the foot? Do you need a special foot for your machine for that, or do you just never really lower the foot and just, you know, push the fabric throughout? I forgot how to drive. I didn't say drive, I said biking. You can't really forget how to bike. What causes eyelashes when sewing? The term eyelashes is used when there's an extreme case of looping of the threads on the back. It's a bit like eyelashing. It's like if the, you know, you have the two threads when you use a sewing machine. You have the thread that comes from the top of the machine, and you have the thread that comes from the bobbin under the foot. And it happens when the tension is kind of off and one of the thread is sort of tighter and pulls the other thread like out from under the fabric, so it kind of makes these eyelashes. Trying to find a piece of paper to doodle it. Yeah, okay, that's good. So let's say your top thread goes like this. Well, you would have the bottom thread that comes out and does this, like it pulls out. And then it goes back to, you know, being the proper tension. So it kind of looks like eyelashes. You need a special foot for it and also drop the lower feed. I wish we got to do more free machine embroidery. Yeah, I was really curious about that. I was like, oh, that's a really proper name. So Evan and Box are talking about two different things. Maybe. But this was kind of what the example, like, I don't know what this is caused by, but it really looked like the top thread was pulling the bottom thread, like, too strongly through the fabric, so you end up with these weird shapes and lines that look like eyelashes. But yeah, like I said, don't take my word for, you know, cash, because it's not like I'm super familiar with this stuff. Oh, I've already threaded it. Damn it. For what Box is talking about, it's usually from not pulling up the lower thread at the start, sewing an area that is too thick, or going back and forth the same area too much. Oh, okay, I see. There were some photos of machine embroidery that looked like it had connected dots across the stitches. Oh. Huh. So that would be a tension issue, would it? Ev's explanation for the causes of reversion of eyelashing is correct. Yay! I'm glad I was able to understand it. They need to lower the top thread tension. So basically any machine that has the tension properly set up could do it. Because the person whose video I was watching was comparing their previous machine to their new machine. They had two machines, but one was new. And they were saying how they had a lot of cases of that eyelashing happening when they were trying to free motion quilt with the older machine. And with the newer machine that didn't happen, but that could easily be solved on the older machine if they set the tension right. It made me think of you, Otto, because their old machine was a genome. I don't know how you say it. And their brand new was a Juki. There's a bit of my machine where it clearly tells you to loop the thread over a thing, and if you skip it, things go pear-shaped with the tension. Oh man, I tension was not really something I struggled with, in the sense that sometimes I would just be, you know, if it was close enough, I would just half-ass it. I didn't like sewing with the machine. Threading the bobbin was the bottom, like the one in the, and I don't know how do you call it. You have the roll of thread at the top of the machine, and then you have the small bobbin in the base of the machine, and that's the thread that you pick up with the needle with the thread from above. And I just hate, it was always like, so you have to put it like let's say clockwise, and then put the thread through this thingamajig, then go back, put it through this other thing and clip it there, and then you close it up, and then when you lower the top needle and you bring it back up, like you do a full up and down of the needle, it picks up the bottom thread, and then you're good to go. But I would always end up like double threads, and it was just such a nightmare. And I looked at it so much in like videos and whatever, and I could never figure it out. It just pissed me off. And it would knot and be a huge freaking mess. I have a trick for loading the bottom thread, but it's one that I have to be in the same room to show you. Changing the needle. Oh, Erica, you sew a lot. Yeah, you've shared photos of your sewing machine. Changing the needle solves a lot of things. In what way? You can sort of pull the thread toward you and push at a point, and it's done. Oh, I wish I would always struggle with it. A train take to thread for you, definitely. It has a small compartment in the machine that has like a teeny tiny house for the tick. And it only costs you a bite every once in a while. The person who was showing their new machine, I think it's the Juki, that had a button to set the general speed of the machine, and you had 3 levels, and the slower one was identified with a turtle, and the faster one was identified with a rabbit, I think. I have used and fixed. Oh, you have many. Oh, hold on. A lime-free take. Oh, definitely. The trick worked for hubby, so next time I get my machine out, I'll try to remember to film the pusher bit that just slides the thread into the track. Ah! Stupid machines! I have used and fixed many. I love Juki machines. Are Juki machines, where are they from? Man, I love looking on Facebook Marketplace for sewing machines, not with the intent of purchasing one, but just to see photos of different models and like older machines that look absolutely indestructible. And I just find that so fascinating. And they have all sorts of machines. Like one was like available. It didn't have any reverse, and it was intended to sew tarps together or something like that. And I was like, whoa, that's so like specific. Juki are workhorses. Great price point in the US. Oh my god, John Lewis has different color sewing machines. Yeah, Janome has Hello Kitty ones. They look to be like really basic machines, but still they're quite cute. Sorry. I recommend it if you don't know how to do it, are scared to damage the machine. Depends on the machine too. I've had mine for 12 years. I'm wondering if I need to send it to service. It's running fun though. Well, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but I don't know if that applies to a sewing machine. I do the usual cleaning out of the bobbin area, etc. before each project. If you clean the lint and oil it, I personally wouldn't. What's the part that you have to oil in the sewing machine? I don't sell mine, but I know how to do it. Is it something that you learn through using it, or did you like took some sort of training for that, Erica? And if you don't want to answer all these questions, that's perfectly fine too. think the to be oiled bit of mind mechanics that hold the needle. So like in the arm, so do you have to open it up to oil it? Learned from my dad growing up. Ooh. So did your dad repair machines or service them? That's really cool. I really would love to be able to understand how the really old machines worked, the ones that were like completely mechanical, just because they look so cool, and I love the kind of engineering they represent. Like the fact that all you need is your own like physical strength to operate it. I think that's really cool. And they look so pretty too. They have all these decals and stuff on them. My mama had a food pedal. Yeah. The desks are so really cool looking too. Like I've seen the desk without the machine, because a lot of these tables or desks have been repurposed, but the whole like cast iron setup under the tabletop with the foot pedal and everything, like it's just so it's so cool, and like I want to know how this works. The electric machines are pretty epic, but you don't really necessarily wonder as much about how everything works, because my brain goes like meh, the electricity goes in and it starts a motor words. That's it, my brain is giving up. But yeah, with the fully like mechanical ones, like how does it work? How do the energy I put into it transforms into the machine actually working? My grandmother was a seamstress, my dad is a mechanic, and I sew since I was little. I have a fashion. Oh, that's really cool. I really like that your dad used his skills as a mechanic to also incorporate like sewing machines. I'll take a photo of it. Oh yes, please. If it's still there. Yep. I'm convinced the sewing machine at school was backwards, and remember my left hand being in the danger zone near the needle. But every machine I've looked at is the other way around, and right hand is inside the machine. I feel like that's how I've always used the machine. No? Like the bulk of the machine is to your right. Were you sitting on the wrong side of the table? Also a valid question. I feel like everybody should know how to sew. Even if it's just like hand sewing. Let's say you have a garment that has a bit of a hole in it. I feel like everybody should be able to fix it. It's such a basic life skill. I know it's not really compatible with fast fashion and all that, but still. fast fashion, that reminds me, I stumbled upon a channel on YouTube that I thought was really interesting. It's really well researched and presented crafting drama. And it's not presented with, you know, dramatization or, you know, trying to clickbait or everything. It's just really well researched, present usually in a chronological timeline. And the person who makes the video seems to be really sweet and have like it's a new channel, so they only have like 4 or 5 videos, and I've already watched them all, and I'm like, oh no, this is like fascinating. Oh my god, crafting drama is real drama, absolutely, but it's also so entertaining. And what I love of it is that I often go into these with no knowledge whatsoever of what's gonna happen. So you kind of wonder throughout the explaining of the situation who's gonna be the bad guy or the bad person. Yeah, right hand inside. Okay. I was in a class that made it so there was no more sewing workshop. Aw. Oh, that's a bummer. Crafting drama like it makes the CEO twat of Daniel Smith look like. That's one of the best descriptions I've heard of that dude. People backpiled. Yeah, but it's really interesting. So there was, so far the videos I've seen, there was one on like some crochet drama about someone copying the patterns from someone else. When, you know, it's actually a really basic design. Anyway, and one was about someone doing DIY, copying someone else. There's the longest video is about Mystical Creation Yarns, which was a company that did hand-dyed yarns, and it was a freaking mess. Like you don't expect it to go where it goes, and it's a really fun ride. And then I wonder why DS doesn't want to work with me. You know what? I don't want to work with them either. If it was the only company out there, maybe. But there are so many other companies with really nice people. And I'm like, why would I even bother with that? You know, like... And it's not like they need the support anyway. They have plenty of people supporting them already. So they don't really need it. You made a blanket using the same yarn as me, copyright. That kind of stuff. The crochet person, the crochet one is the one I think that's the most recent, and it was really funny because it's a bit like, I don't know, like with anything crafting, it's often all based upon the same set of basic principles, like same set of stitches for knitting, same set of stitches for crochet. Like I don't think anyone will invent a brand new stitch or anything. So everybody's working with the same basic material and knowledge. So of course, through time and just through the sheer amount of people working with this, there's gonna be ideas that end up being similar. So seeing someone really being over the top about, you know, a design for no particular reason is really it's its own thing. I'll try to remember to link the channel in the Discord server in the Livestream after party channel. There was a recent huge thing. There was a recent huge thing with 2 blokes who don't knit tried to make a Ravelry-esque website just to make money, and they were basically Hung, drawn, and quartered. Oh man. You know, that's funny because I was sort of entertaining the idea of doing watercolor world drama videos. In the same kind of, more like telling a story than really being about the drama. But I don't think there's enough stuff to really, make a lot of content. Yeah, Etsy is something else, but yeah, people are like, "Oh, you stole my pattern. You're gonna sell your pattern that is actually a copy of my design and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "That's so funny." Especially when it's unfounded. That's the best. It's just Daniel Smith and maybe Shinhan. And that the occasional person who doesn't understand what watercolor is and thinks series is the quality of the paint, that kind of stuff. But it's not exactly worthy of a full essay video. It's basically just a look at this dummy. Like, there is not really any Reddit or anything for just paint per se. There is r/craft snark that is pretty entertaining, but it's mostly like knitting, crochet, sewing. Are you using stitches in your pattern? Yeah. Are you using yarn? Are you using... It's a bit like someone would make a big case of someone else doing a blanket out of granny squares. It's like, you didn't invent the granny square, I'm sorry. Watch it, Otto. My grandfather worked in the phthalo mines for 95 years. For 95 years! He was born there and he died there, okay? Still waiting for the 20 pigments whites. I think you mean 195 years. Oh, so the phthalo mine gave him extended life. It's like the spice in Dune, but it's the phthalo. Okay. And he had to walk uphill both ways in the snow. And he worked with the unicorn that pulled the cart. His name, Albert Einstein. No, wait, that's too real. That has... The phthalo mines. Oh, my brain. No, to be completely fair to the situation, he says that it's the Amazonite mines, right? But since his Amazonite is mostly phthalo, so we joke that it's the phthalo mine. There's also the Mayan blue mines. That's actually something that's in the paperwork. Did he grow up on the bottom of Quinacridone Lake in Michigan? Wait, it was Madder Lake actually. Is it next to the Pirol Canyon? What? The Mayan blue mines, no? Oh man, that's so funny. Makes me rage. It makes me laugh. Because it's so stupid, you know. But yeah, I understand the rage too. Like, it seems like a valid response as well. What makes me rage is the way he handles those situations. That's the part that actually makes me really angry, because it's so condescending and so disrespectful. And that's where I draw the line. Like, be clueless, fine. Be clueless and condescending, nope. In the real world, I'll never not be amazed at how many Quinn color there are. There are quite a lot, right? George Santos, who's that? Did I miss this thing with Mayan blue? Next to Elon Musk's emerald. Yeah, absolutely. He's not a people. Yeah, but he tries to be. That's the part that just doesn't, you know. Yeah, you can't really mine Mayan blue, because it's basically taking indigo dye and precipitating it, so like dropping it onto clay. And then the clay that has been dyed becomes the pigment. So you don't mine it. Not a salesman. So, so what is he? He tries to pass off as an expert on the thing. Yeah, and he doesn't fully grasp the whole of the thing itself. Like, the whole thingy that happened with is she a geologist? You know, the person who looked at the Primatech colors under microscope and was able to identify the rock formation in there, like the way the crystals or whatever presented themselves, that were not in line with what Amazonite would be. He was so disrespectful to that person, and it's like, whoa, bro, no, bad look. Okay, parenthesis. I don't know, maybe you're not able to hear it, but we regularly hear a weird chorus of what we think is a couple of dogs, but one absolutely sounds like a shitty plastic recorder flute, and it's always funny. I wish I had that much bravado, untouchable. Like, it's fine if you're a CEO because you're a business person with little knowledge of the products. Just quit pretending to know what you... Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, the live streams, they were so cringy at times. Like, the dude has... I don't like to presume and assume, but it had a bit of a vibe of someone who hasn't really held up a brush to paint ever before. And he would swatch like colors and talk about the paints and all that and answer questions. And do you remember his explanation of granulation that kind of made no sense? And it was just like, you know, you can kind of tell when someone tries to explain something but they don't really get it. And it's always kind of the feeling I got from his stuff. I haven't watched it in years though, so maybe it's gotten better, but oof. Oh, and the other like painters in the chat were so condescending as well. Like you ask a question and the answer like you're a child that has never seen paint in their life, you know. It's like, yeah, you boomer Karen, go away. Yeah, a geologist from UCL. I studied in the same department, and the test she did is the de facto test to identify minerals. I respect anyone that will say, let me double check that and get back to you rather than... Yeah, absolutely. He went for the bullshit right away. If you don't know the answer, just say so. Yeah, how is that an issue? Like, why? Like, he could make the videos about the paint and be fully honest about it, saying stuff like I haven't painted or I haven't painted much, but I love these colors. Look at this beautiful color and paint a swatch and be like, this is so pretty. Look at what's happening with the texture. Look at how rich it is. Look at the mixes I can make with this color. Instead of trying to sell properties of the paint that he doesn't understand or that are not even true. Like, you can just go like, look at this thing, it's awesome, and that's also valid in terms of demonstration. You don't have to pretend you understand everything about what you're showing to be able to appreciate if it's pretty, you know? Just get an expert to do either that, but can you imagine if he is the person with the most like charisma in the place? That's gotta be like, no way. He has artists guests in his live streams sometimes, but it's not very fun because oftentimes the audio quality is just unpleasant. And I mean, even professional artists can have like a really flawed understanding of paint theory. But he really goes like the DS dude really goes for like kind of it feels like a really elitist approach, like, oh, this is a well-known painter that has won prizes, so I want to talk to them, even if the painter doesn't know shit about paint. But they won prizes with their paintings, so they gotta know stuff, you know? And it's like, it's exhausting. He has a whole team of them. He used them. Yeah. I'm an information architect. It's exactly like having a client that knows how their content should be organized despite needing me to tell them why it doesn't work. Not listening because they're... Oh no. Oh no. That sounds like an awful time. There's a whole company of highly knowledgeable staff who make the actual paints. This is money. Yeah, and probably the staff that worked in the store before it closed were probably more knowledgeable about the paint than he was or is. Yeah, not all. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I watched a demo by a professional artist once, and he thought that the series was related to the actual pigmentation of the paint, I think. It's like, guys, series is just to set the price point. That's it. That's it. If you've been to a store that sells paint and you have two brain cells that can communicate between each other, you can figure that out. Because you have the display, and then on top of the display you have a sheet that lists the prices. And instead of being one price for everything, you have like Series 1, $15, Series 2, $17, Series 3, $19. And you can be like, okay, so what's this? And you can grab a tube and figure it out. You know, it's not rocket science, it's logic. I once in a live stream corrected a big YouTuber about dyes and pigments, and it wasn't pretty. Oh no, Paulo. So I I kind of stopped giving my opinion. Yeah, it's probably best. It's like being a good driver is one thing, but knowing how to make a car. Yeah, definitely. And like, have you never been to a store to buy paints? Like, how do you not figure out what series are? It just breaks my brain so much. I have respect for people that learn and admit they were wrong. It's hard to know everything. Absolutely. So, I mean, that's why people should feel fine with saying like, oh, I don't know, or like, I thought I knew, but it turns out that my grasp of it was wrong, and this is the actual thingy, you know? So stop commenting and deleted a bunch of comments. I only do that on channels that I love. Yeah. Aside from dodgy marketing tripping people up, example, Hue versus Real, yeah. It's not about truth, it's fandom. That's a very good point, Otto. Even the cheaper side craft store by my house has a sign by Windsor and Newton that explains series. Yeah! Or like, if you see that and you don't know, you can ask the staff there. Like, it's not a vacuum where paints have series and nobody knows why. And all professional paints have it. It's just, it destroys my brain completely. I have quite a few pet peeves, but I'm really hesitant to make videos about these because I don't want to start the drama. I want to, you know, witness it. That's a whole lot more fun. Hey Melissa, hi. Hello. I just got interested because I found all the different names fascinating and wondered. Yeah. Oh, the Paints series. Oh, the mystery never. You know what the worst well, one of the worst things about drama, in my opinion, is that sometimes it happens and you don't really know why. Like, nothing was intended to spark drama, but poof, the fire is set and people are mad and comments are flying and you're like, what? What happened? What? Okay, well, I've learned something today. Now let's delete everything. Mystery is mystery. Doesn't help that beginner paints not usually have pigment number, so that's. We don't have to care. Yeah. Trying to visualize the situation. So basically, like, when you, well, the thing is with student paints, usually they're all the same price. These are usually all the same price, or, you know, close enough. I've seen a lot less series in student paints, so you don't really need to. You don't come across this notion that not all paints are the same price, and what could be the cause of that, and what does it mean, and how do I know? But like none of it is hidden knowledge either. Like it's not something you need to be part of a cult and to sacrifice like a lamb on the full moon to figure out. You can either research it or learn through doing it. Like if you purchase a paint, like you grab the color you like and you go to the cash register and it's a price you didn't expect, well, that's a whole premise to go and figure it out. I remember like a long time ago, back when Daniel Smith was affordable here, I really wanted a sort of minty green color. And I was looking through the whole range of Daniel Smith, and the only one that kind of fit in hue was Fuchsia Genuine. And I didn't know what Primatic was. I had no idea. So I grabbed the Fuchsia and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm like, okay, so this is my budget, so how much does this one cost? And I tried to figure it out, and I realized like a series, and I looked, oh, holy moly, that's pricey. And then I was like, okay, but I really like the color, so I'm gonna get it. So I come home, tried to paint with it, and it's sparkly too. And I was like, okay, there's definitely stuff I don't know here, and that I gotta figure out for myself. So yeah, that's kind of why I don't understand the reaction of encountering a situation that sparks questions, and instead of being like, I'm gonna research it, to presume stuff. Like I don't exactly remember what the sommelier lady had said about this. I think it was that like this series was indicative of the quality of the paint. I think it was that kind of nonsense. And I'm like, what brought you to that conclusion? How does that even make sense? Because to me it doesn't, first. And then what's the empirical evidence that you stumbled upon that brought you to this conclusion? And there was nothing. Oh, let's sacrifice the tallow lamb to the paint god. Oh, bucks of paint, you have to draw that, please. That sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm 20 minutes over. That's why my voice is getting all cracky. The common one is the higher the series, the more pigmented it is. Yeah, that one is mental. Also upsetting when I found out people didn't like Cinelli because it wasn't pigmented. Like, that's one of the video that I'm on the fence about doing, because I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not, but as you all know, English is not my native language, and I feel like as such I'm really it's really important for me to use the right words when I want to say specific things in English. And with the color and the paint world, there's a lot of, mixing stuff around. And I'm not saying it's wrong or not, just saying that it kind of bothers me, because some things have meanings, like words have meanings. And I rely upon the meaning of the word to understand what you're saying. So if you use the word in a different setting with a different meaning, do I understand it right? And it's a lot of stuff like hue, saturation, what's it, like tint, shade, tone. What else? Like vibrancy. Some of the more common ones, you have people who call colors muddy, who say something is pastel-like. That one, I'm sorry, Tio, but what the fuck? You can always ask us to check if it to check it for you. Get a consensus. Yeah, or yeah, I might work on the video and share some of it on the Discord too. But yeah, stuff like value, intensity, yeah, all that kind of stuff, because all these words have specific meanings, and since it's kind of one of my main focus is paint and color and all that, it always throws me for a loop when someone will say, let's say, oh, you have a lot of green tints in this set. And what they mean is you have a lot of green hues in this set. And tint has a very specific meaning. If you're talking about color and paint, it's basically a color with white, or in watercolor, probably a color with water, so it's diluted, you know? And so if you want to say that a palette has many tints, it's confusing, because it's not what a tint is. And I think I understand what you mean, but I'm not sure, because the word you use doesn't apply, so I have to extrapolate what you're trying to explain to me, and that's just like, that's overloading. And yeah, stuff like value, like what's the value of a color, what's the intensity of a color, what's the lightness. If I this is off the top of my head, but yeah, you have hue, saturation, value, I think. So hue is the color itself. Is it red? Is it green? Is it blue? Is it yellow? That's the hue. Saturation is how vibrant or intense the color is. The more saturated it is, the more it's going to be colorful, like full of color. And if you desaturate it, it's going to be gray. And then value is whether something is light or dark. And since all these words have very specific meanings, sometimes when I watch some videos, I'm like really thrown for a loop, because the person just is trying to, you know, diversify their vocabulary, which is perfectly fine, not an issue. But in doing so, they use a bunch of words that mean different things, and I just get lost. It just like sends me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I have to close next. I can't. The meaning gets so lost. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like a game of telephone. Music is like that. Like lots of people will say that was flat, but it may be sharp and pitch tone. Oh my gosh, seriously. I don't know anything about music. I don't even want to risk it, but I fully understand what you mean. It's the same kind of like trying to describe something without having the knowledge for it is, or like just food. Is something sweet, savory, spicy, like... Okay, hold on, let me catch up on chat. Doesn't help that over time the terms have changed, like pink changed meaning. Yeah, that doesn't happen for a lot of terms, thankfully, but yeah, that doesn't help. Like brown pink, and it's a green color, and you're like, what is going on? I may be totally wrong with tint in watercolor, but in my head it's how likely is it to stain another color. I don't think that would be tint. Tint, like I said, is a color mixed with white, or watercolor, a color mixed with water, you know, like or mixed with white too. Like you lighten the color basically. And usually if it's mixed with white, the color would get a bit cooler as well. You know, water temperature, that's another horse. And you can't even look it up in books, because many people who publish books on this topic are wrong. Yeah, you have to look at the dictionary. That's the only thing you can reliably go to and feel like you are on 100% solid ground, is the stupid dictionary. Like tinting strength. Yeah, that's tinting strength. But I can understand how it's confusing, because it's called tinting strength, and tints is like, why? That's why I try to use scientific terms, because they're usually well defined. That's true. It jars a lot of artists, but the precision is important. Still annoyed about book, still recommending it. Yeah, well, that's another weird thing going on, because I feel like light fastness and fugitiveness is kept as a kind of factor that is vague when it shouldn't be, but you're like, oh, this color is fugitive, but you're like, yeah, but like people still painted with it 300 years ago and their paintings are fine, so what are we, like, unless it's opera. Okay, fine, opera, good, but it's just so difficult. I'm glad I found my way to the arty scientist. Or the dreaded red, blue, yellow as primary. Oh, that's so freaking stupid. Aurelian belongs in the past. Yeah, it's being discontinued anyway, so you'll be free of it forever. I'm always happy to be corrected, but I tend to have my own vocab a lot of the times. Well, 22 years and I can still make hubby growl if I call HT dogs hot dogs. Tint where I'm from is how dark your car windows. Yeah, tinted glass. Like, it's that I think that's why these words find their way in places that in the color world don't make sense, because they are used differently outside of the color world. But if you come into the color world and you use tint, well, in here tint has a precise meaning, so that's extra confusing. But if you talk to people who don't know anything about color and you use tint for like whatever, they're gonna get it. Like, so it's just like an extra brain thing that just messes me up. But I don't know if it's worthy of a video or not. Hot dogs is better, I agree. When those little reminder nicknames fail and you can't remember them. Oh, that's always so funny though. Yeah, so tint is paint plus white. Tone is paint plus gray, so paint plus white and black. And shade is paint plus black. And I've seen like all these three words used interchangeably to just talk about the hue of a color. Like, oh, you get 3 shades of brown in this palette, and it's like, wait, what? How? What? You know? Yeah, tinting strength means staining. Or staining means staining. I mean, that also works. I feel like tinting strength, to me, I don't know why, I haven't researched it, that I would have to do the research, but tinting strength to me kind of feels like it comes from the world of dyeing stuff, like dyeing fabrics, dyeing yarn, and all that, like to talk about how staining a pigment is, or how strong a pigment is. And I feel like in watercolor and paint, it's not, I don't know why, like I said, I haven't really looked into it, but just like that, to my brain, it doesn't translate 100%. Yeah, Winsor Newton are discontinuing it, and also I think it was on the golden page that some of their paints with that pigment were discontinued. Not watercolor, because they don't have it with watercolor, but maybe in acrylics or something, or oil. So yeah, that's usually, and like the worst offender is like, I'm sorry again, but Theo keeps calling opaque paints pastel-like, and it triggers such a weird response in my nervous system that I'm like, I can't watch his videos. If he pulls a pastel-like on me, I'm just gonna fling stuff at the wall. And then muddy colors is also something that really bothers me, because it doesn't mean anything. Like, what do you mean? Is the color opaque? Is it not the color you wanted to mix? Is it Because to me, muddy just means brown or dirty, but a color, when you mix paint, it cannot be dirty unless you empty your vacuum in it. Like a color is not dirty. Anyway, see, it just breaks my brain. Why is this continuing PY40 good? Because it's a really it's a really unstable color, and a lot of people have seen it change color in the tube, like not even on a painting, like a fugitive color normally would. Like within the tube, being exposed to nothing, it would still turn. So it's really annoying for that. Is it poop like? Yeah, exactly. Neutralize. Yeah, that's another one. Like I feel like there's a difference between saying a color is muted and saying a color is neutralized. To me, neutralizing a color is bringing it to gray or black. And muting a color is shifting it to something that has less saturation. Does that make sense? Like if you mix a red and a green and you get a brown, I feel like you've muted the color. But if you mix a red and a green and you get a gray, I feel like you've neutralized the color. But yeah, that some of it I know, like for facts, like tint, tone, shade, I know what these means. I remember the definition from the dictionary. Other words, I feel like I would need to look into it more, because I don't know if it's just my perception of it or if it's actually, there's actually a difference between all the words. So yeah. Yeah, Areolin is cobalt yellow. Like, I like the term palette mud for mixing all the colors on your palette to get whatever it comes up to, because in a way that to me goes more to the process of making mud puddles as a kid, where you grab everything, you mix it in a puddle, and you have a mud puddle. So palette mud, mud puddle, okay. But seeing a color is muddy as a descriptive, unless it's brown, I feel like it doesn't mean anything. And you could definitely use language that is more precise to explain what is unpleasant about the color to you. And in that way, it would be much easier to help you figure out how to get the color you want. Like if I tell you, oh, I mixed a color and the result was muddy and I didn't like it, do you have any idea how to help me fix it just from that? Like, no! So if I say, oh, I mixed a color and the result was opaque and I didn't like that, well, that's a bit more indicative of what was unpleasant about my color. And you can ask me, okay, what pigments did you mix in there? What colors did you... Oh, you put, I don't know, PBR 24 in there, which is a really opaque color. Like, oh, maybe you would have to look for a way to get this color, but without the opacity. So maybe you can mix two transparent colors to get something similar in hue, but without the opacity, and then you bring that into your mix and perhaps you'll get your color you want without the opacity. I agree with you, Ev, but I know I haven't been so specific with their definition in my videos sometimes, yeah, but I mean, it's okay if you're fine with it, that's fine. It's just, that's why I don't know if the video is worthy of anything, because I don't know if it's just a personal like bug in my brain because of the way I use the English language in general. Since I don't, since it's not my native language, I feel like sometimes I'm relying a lot on what the word means to understand what the person is saying, but that's not always the best way to go around it. Neutrals will always be naturals. Hey, Oscar, hi. I like the schminke mix all the afterwards. Yeah, I love it. I like to call it the hold on, I'm looking for the word. Cleaning up the vent filters color. Tint color plus white, shade color plus black. What is tone? Color plus black and white, so color plus gray. Oh yeah, Otto said it. Crocheting right now. Oh, awesome! Yeah, I was sewing, but I guess I've been caught up by the discussion and the rabbit hole we've gone into about paint terminology. So I keep calling me becoming British as neutralized rather than the correct term or not. I think you're neutralized. I like that. I like that. You're a color person. Though you like bright pink, so not exactly neutral. I think neutralize is also valid. I agree. I'm so sorry about that. It's my huge water bottle that I really love, by the way. I like that it's 32 ounces and it's double walled and it's metal and it's sturdy and it keeps the water cold. All right. Now it's in everyone's head and that's my job. I've been neutralized for 15 years. Neutralized. Oh no! Sorry. The only time I had to fire someone, I was so nervous that I said, "Hi X, I'm really sorry, but I have to terminate you." Cue the Terminator theme. I'm close to done with the tote bag I've been working on for. Oh, that sounds really cool. And crochet too. Crochet is awesome. Sorry, I usually end the stream like 40 minutes ago, so I've reached the end of my talking capabilities. Are you on the Discord, Oscar? Because I'm pretty sure people would love to see your finished project. I'll be back. Oh, that's an excellent answer. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. Oh, I'm hot now. All right, so I'll end this here. I'll take a break, drink a lot of water. I think they would have deserved your hiring if they said that. Definitely a consideration. And yeah, if you are unfamiliar with the channel and the live streams and all that, the channel is separate from the live stream because of YouTube algorithms and stuff. So I have a lot of videos about painting on the main channel, and the live streams are more casual. And there's a link in the description. Oh, I think I forgot to fix the link though. I hope it still works. But there's a link in the description to the Discord server, and it's a place to hang out and chat during the week and share projects and talk art and have fun. And yeah, thank you so much everyone for being here today. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for keeping me company as I work on these. Sorry. And I will link the craft drama channel. I think I sent you one of her videos, Otto, but I'll link it in the Discord, and I'll send you the link if you want. And I see you all next week, same time, same place. And I hope you have a great week. Nope, I just saw you on my YouTube. Oh, Well, welcome, Oscar. That's. I'm sorry. I have to close things up, but thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. Have a great week, great weekend, and bye bye.